Hi and welcome back to the channel. This is Rideshare Buddy UK. My name's Kevin, and today it's a video for the April update of EV charging prices and other issues that professional drivers such as us Uber drivers, private hire drivers, taxi drivers and the like need to consider with an EV. So I'm going to do two parts. First part is going to be looking at the prices, and then the second part we're going to be taking a look at some of the technology in relation to batteries that are coming out this year. Two big announcements by CATL about two new battery types, which could be a bit of a game changer, particularly for taxi drivers, rideshare drivers and the app gig workers who use an EV. So first part, you're going to head to Carmarthen, Tesla, because there's been a few changes with Tesla, and then the second part we'll take it up at Fishguard at the Dragon charging hub at Fishguard. So let's make our way and do a roundup of the prices, because there's been some big changes this month with the changes to the energy cap. It's been reflected in a lot of changes to charging stations. Right, we're just at the Tesla doing a quick charge up. So let's have a look at the latest prices. It's mid-April. Big price rises this month at the first when the energy cap went up. Most of the EV charging networks chose to do the same. Many of them went up by 10% or more, so big jumps. For instance, let's look at Eon. Used to be 62 down at Cross Hands. Now it's 67, so a good 10% there. Instavolt 87p now, up from 82. Grid Serve up to 79 pence. Yeah, most of them between 8 and 10% rises at the start of the month. However, for professional drivers, Uber drivers, rideshare drivers, taxi drivers, it's not too bad. The two big ones, Ionity still kept their fares at their charging at 43p kilowatt hour, so no change there from Ionity. They are opening up another 500 charging stations this year, average around 10 to 12 chargers at each station. Means that you're looking at about another 45 new locations for Ionity by the end of the year. 43p with their Power Plus subscription. BP is the other good one, no change at BP. If you're an Uber driver, grab your free Pulse subscription, get your account connected to your Uber account, and you get 20% off, giving you a special rate of 49p a kilowatt hour. You know, that's half the price of many of the mainstream chargers now. Compare that to Shell, compare it to Instavolt, pretty much half price, near enough, 49p. So those two have stayed the same, but what about the other big one for us professional drivers, the taxi drivers who need to watch the profit margins? Tesla has changed. It's gone down in price, but their peak time has increased across most of the nation. It looks like they're beginning to standardise their pricing. Now, for instance, most of the ones I went to, you would have peak time charging at about 47 pence, and that would be about from 4 in the afternoon to late at night. They've now got rid of that sort of short peak time. Now most of the Tesla stations operate from 8 till 8 at peak time hours. They're matching the price of 43p for Ionity, so the peak time prices have come down, but it's spread over a lot longer time period over the day, so you will possibly start paying a little bit more, but the overall price is 43p. Them tracking and keeping up with Ionity, who pretty much are the price leaders. However, Tesla still remain the cheapest because of that off-peak charges, and those have come down as well. So for instance, at the Celtic Manor, where I do a lot of charging, from 8 till midnight it's down to 36 pence, then midnight till 4 it's down to 33 pence, and then from 4 till 8 it's back to 36 pence. So good pricing off peak if you can charge off peak. So the big three for us rideshare drivers, professional drivers, not too bad. Provided you can stay away from the big ones like Shell, Instavolt, Gridserve. They all increase their prices by about 10% at the start of the month. So no good at all for us if you want to make a profit. But generally, it's not too bad on pricing for those big three: Tesla, Ionity and BP. Regarding BP, lots of changes are happening at BP at the moment. There's another stalker shareholder who wanted to break BP up or sell it off or do something to it, because it is a little bit undervalued at the moment on shares. 30% drop in the last 12 months. But BP have committed, even though they're dropping a lot of their green investments, they have committed to maintaining and expanding the BP Pulse network in a number of countries. That includes the UK, US, Australia, Germany and France. So BP will be around for quite some time. We may see some expansion, I'm not too sure, because BP was partnering with Marks and Spencer's and their car parks. So we'll see what happens there over the next few months, whether BP continue to expand the network. So that's it, round up on the prices. It's not too bad. The one issue I have to ask is, what is happening to PodPoint? All of these 7 kilowatt chargers that PodPoint have, and their share price is currently 4.6 pence per share. They've crashed, even since I bought in a couple of months ago. I bought in at 10 pence. 2 years ago they were trading at £2.80, now it's 4.6p a share. What's going on with PodPoint? Nobody wants 7 kilowatt chargers, they don't use them, they're a loss maker. So why are the councils, such as Newport and other local councils, investing in expanding the slow charging network? It's not wanted, it won't be used. For instance, Newport has just announced 90 lamppost chargers for across the city. What a waste of money. What they need are ultra fast chargers, because that's what customers are looking for. But that's where it goes. PodPoint, I think, are living on borrowed time. Their share price crashed 4.6p 4.6p a share. BP have pledged to maintain their EV charging network, which is good. Ionity is expanding, and Tesla, who know what goes on in Musk's brain. I don't. So that's the charging update for this month. No major changes, provided you shop smart. Well, I was going to do this little bit on batteries, which is really important for us Uber drivers and rideshare drivers outside. But it's pouring down with rain, so I'm inside. I'm at the charging station at Fishguard, 50 kilowatt Dragon chargers. I'll be done in a few minutes. But CATL has made two major announcements in the last few days. The first one is they're going to start mass producing sodium-ion batteries. And that's incredibly important for us rideshare drivers. To give you the idea why, these plan on having a 500 kilometre range and a 10,000 cycle lifespan. That basically equates to a 5 million kilometre lifespan. So your car's going to fall to bits before the battery does. So that's really good news. But other things about the sodium-ion battery is it's a lot safer. You get very few lithium-ion car battery runaways or thermal runaways for instant combustion. Very few. You're much more likely to be caught in a petrol car fire or a diesel car fire than an electric car fire. But when EVs do go alight, they are quite dangerous, quite toxic clouds, and quite difficult for fire brigade to put out. But they're only very, very few, very, very small percentage, and quite a rare occurrence. But sodium-ion batteries will basically eliminate that minute threat of a fire. Sodium-ion batteries are incredibly safe, so that will basically get rid of anything like that. So the other thing, for me as a non-home charging EV owner, and for a lot of you out there, is sodium-ion are much more durable than lithium-ion. Lithium-ion has quite a small temperature range in which it operates efficiently. This is why, if you watch my videos last winter, I was sat around for an hour and a half waiting for the battery to charge, because it's incredibly slow in cold weather. It's also not very efficient, which is why my range dropped from about 300 down to about 220 in the winter. That problem doesn't occur with sodium-ion. Sodium-ion batteries that CATL are about to release work at 90% efficiency from 70 degrees C in temperature down to minus 40 degrees C in temperature. And when it's at minus 10 degrees C, it will charge up at 80% of the rate of the most efficient temperature. So if it's in a 100 kilowatt charging car, even at minus 10, which will more than adequately cope with most British winters, you'll still be charging at 80 kilowatts. Now, you've probably seen in my videos, I've been down to 20, down to 15 kilowatts when it's been really cold, but even that's only down to about minus 6. Minus 10 is probably going to get slower. So sodium-ion batteries are the way forward, cheaper to produce, safer, more durable, and much more efficient. So, how close are CATL to releasing these? The heavy goods ones, the heavy duty ones for lorries, buses and coaches, are going into mass production in June. So just a couple of months away. And passenger car batteries are going into mass production in December. So this year, mass production. And CATL, who own a number of car brands as well, are now looking at what brands are going to swap out lithium-ion batteries and bring in sodium-ion batteries. So that's really good. Look forward to that next year. What sort of cars are going to come out with sodium-ion? If I had a choice between lithium-ion, which charges a little bit faster, or sodium-ion, which doesn't, but much more durable and much more better in colder weather, I'd choose a sodium-ion battery car. Much better for you, much better for the environment, and much more efficient. So that's good news number one coming out of CATL. Sodium-ion batteries, mass-produced from December. The second one is, we had BYD about a month ago mentioning that they brought out a 10C battery, which is a pretty fast charging battery. Well, CATL has just done one better. They brought out a 12C charging battery, which will charge even faster than this BYD one, which I think puts on about 400 kilometres in 5 minutes. I'll disappear for a bit, check the stats, but as I remember rightly, the new CATL lithium-ion battery, they haven't mentioned yet when it's going to go into mass production, puts on 2.5 kilometres per second. Let's have a quick look at that. I may need to go back and double check these figures, but they're incredible. The new battery has a 800 kilometre range, 800 kilometres, and it will charge at 1.3 megawatts. Incredible. That's 2.5 kilometres per second charging. Even at minus 10, this new battery, they haven't released a release date yet, or when it's going to go into mass production, but even at minus 10, it's 80% efficient in charging. So, no battery heater required. At 1.3 megawatts, it will still charge 80%. That's got to be about 900 kilowatts charging at minus 10. That's incredible. So while China pushes ahead, making advances, making electric cars as quick and as easy to charge as a petrol diesel car. Here in Britain, we're living on Victorian infrastructure and we're putting in 7 kilowatt lamppost chargers. Can you believe it? 7 kilowatts, while China is pushing out cars charging at 1.3 megawatts. We've got to do something in this country. We've got to catch up. We've got to stop prattling around with these little 7 kilowatt chargers. There should be no excuse for anything less than 50 kilowatts. The standard now should be 300 kilowatts, and the most advanced charging stations should now really be pushing 750 to 1,000 megawatt charge, 1,000 kilowatt charging. I can't believe that in this country we still look at a 7 kilowatt lamppost charger as being state of the art. Ridiculous. So that's it for today's roundup of EV charging news for the professional driver. If you're doing rideshare, doing deliveries, doing gig work, doing taxis, deliveries, the big news is, even though a lot of the big companies have put up their charges this year in April by about 10%, the three we're really interested in, the three that we rely on the most, because they're the cheapest, on a par with petrol and diesel prices, haven't changed. So it's still Ionity with the Power Plus at 43p, still Tesla with their subscription, 43p peak time, and around the 36 to 33p off peak, depending on where you are. Tesla still changes a lot, but they do seem to be coming down into a more standard pricing structure. And then BP, if you're an Uber driver, grab your free subscription to BP Pulse and grab that 20% discount on BP Pulse prices to bring them down to 49p a kilowatt hour. So that's it for April. Next one is in May.